The message came while I was standing in the security line, passport in hand, half asleep but excited. I checked my phone expecting a gate number. Instead, I saw a short text from my wife. Relax. It's just a joke. At the same moment, the airline app refreshed and my flight vanished from the screen. I stepped out of line, heart pounding, and asked the agent to check my booking. She typed for a few seconds, frowned, and told me there was no active ticket under my name. It had been cancelled 2 hours ago. My stomach dropped as the realization settled in. I called my wife immediately. She answered laughing, like this was the funniest thing she'd done all week. She said she wanted to see my reaction, to teach me a lesson for being too serious about work trips. She promised she'd rebook it later, once she was done laughing. People around me stared as my voice stayed calm in a way that surprised even me. I asked her why she thought messing with my job and stranding me at an airport was funny. She brushed it off, saying I was overreacting and needed to lighten up. This wasn't the first time she'd crossed a line and called it humor. She'd hidden my car keys before meetings, told fake stories about me in front of friends, and once jokingly told my parents we were getting divorced. Every time I protested, she accused me of having no sense of humor. Standing there, I suddenly felt very tired. Not angry, not loud, just done. I told her I'd handle it and hung up. I didn't wait for her response. I booked a new flight myself for the next morning and checked into a cheap airport hotel. That night, lying on a stiff bed, I replayed years of small humiliations I'd ignored because love was supposed to mean patience. By morning, my decision felt clear and steady. I flew out as planned, attended my meetings, and smiled like nothing was wrong. No one at work ever knew what had happened. When I returned home 3 days later, she greeted me like a playful child who'd pulled off a prank. She asked if I'd learned my lesson and waited for a reaction. I gave her none. That evening, while she was scrolling on her phone, I quietly packed a bag. I didn't slam doors or announce anything. I just took what I needed and left the house we shared. I stayed with a friend for a week and spoke to a lawyer. The paperwork was straightforward, almost boring, which felt strange for something so final. I followed every step carefully, silently. When the divorce papers were served, she called me screaming. She said I was cruel for ending a marriage over a joke. She told everyone who would listen that I was cold, dramatic, and heartless. I never argued with her version of events. I didn't correct her stories or defend myself. The people who knew me well already understood. The rest didn't matter. She tried to meet me just to talk, to laugh it off, to promise she'd never do it again. I declined every time. Trust, once turned into entertainment, doesn't grow back. Months later, I flew again for work. Sitting by the window, watching the plane lift off, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: peace. No anxiety, no waiting for the next prank. I realized that respect isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, consistent, and safe. And the moment it disappears, love follows it out the door. She thought canceling my flight would make me feel small for a moment. Instead, it showed me exactly how small my life would stay if I didn't leave. I didn't end the marriage in anger or revenge. I ended it because some jokes reveal truths you can't unsee.